Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Buffalo. We are Wisconsin.
Beautiful Monday in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We are ready for baseball tonight, just a few miles from downtown in Lake Michigan, Miller Park. It's the Royals and the Milwaukee Brewers. It starts a 4-game stretch with Kansas City. 2 here in Milwaukee, 2 in KC. It'll be Edinson Volquez tonight against Kyle Loesch. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us tonight alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Sophia Minard, our reporter tonight. And the Brewers ready to welcome in the reigning American League champs. Are going to see him 4 consecutive days here. And, Rock, this is another interleague matchup. Pitchers will hit in the first leg of this, DH in Kansas City. What have you seen from the Kansas City Royals this year?
Well, the same thing that got them into the World Series last year is one of the reasons why they're having such a good season so far this year. Their bullpen is not only the best in the American League, they're the best in all of baseball. When you talk about earned run average, you got to get to the starter early. The back end of this Kansas City bullpen, very good. They've given up the least amount of runs, hits, and home runs this year in the American League. They don't hit a lot of home runs, don't score a lot of runs, but they are a pesky offense in that they don't strike out a whole lot. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Kansas City, Milwaukee, first of 4 home-and-home series.
Kansas City has not been here in the regular season since 2007. They've got Edinson Volquez. The Brewers have Kyle Loesch. When we continue, Sophia Minard with more on Loesch.
Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. The reigning American League champions are here at Miller Park. Kyle Loesch getting warmed up for his first start, getting his first crack at the Royals here tonight. Now, Kyle Loesch looking for his first win in a month, but it is coming off of a 2-0 loss on Wednesday night in Pittsburgh, and it was in that loss he was able to limit 10 hits to 2 runs in 6 1/3 innings. And Craig Counsell saying it was Loesch's ability to grind through that outing without his best stuff and making pitches in big moments. Those are the kinds of starts that they need from Loesch here the rest of the way.
It's Kyle's making. It's making pitches. It's getting big spots and making a good pitch to their good hitters, and it's going to be the same every time. It's going to be the same every time out for Kyle. That's how it works, And so he's struggled this year, and but I think he's struggled because he hasn't made those pitches in those spots. And that's often what the game comes down to, is those spots.
Kyle Loesch will match up with Edison Volquez, the first of this 4-game series between the Brewers and the defending AL champion Royals. We've got first pitch coming up for you next here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Whites leading the Brewers out onto the field tonight. Final 2 games of this homestand. Brewers splitting with the Washington Nationals, ready for the Royals now. Brewers baseball presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. It is 73 outside of Miller Park. The roof is closed up. There are some thunderstorms bouncing around in the area, so better keep it dry, better keep it safe in here. And Rock, that means it is extremely warm inside Miller Park here tonight.
Yeah, baseball was flying pretty good. The glass panels are open during batting practice, but when it is hot and muggy in here, the ball's going to fly.
2 familiar faces in that Kansas City dugout. Manager Ned Yost, former Brewer manager Dale Swain. He took over for Ned Yost in 2008, as a matter of fact. And those two bring a World Series team to Milwaukee. Here is Ned Yost's Potawatomi batting order. Alcides Escobar, Mike Moustakas, Lorenzo Cain at the top. Eric Hosmer, Salvador Perez, Alex Gordon, Alex Rios, Omar Infante, Edinson Volquez. Rounding it out, Volquez will be hitting tonight in the National League venue. And how about the numbers for Kyle Loesch? He'd like to get things turned around quickly.
Yeah, especially here at home. He has really struggled here at Miller Park. His last time out against the Pirates was a loss, but he pitched pretty well. Gave up single runs in the first and second innings, but then kind of settled down 6 1/3. 10 hits, only 2 runs, in a 2-0 loss. And making start number 21 against the Royals. He's 6-6.
Now we are ready for baseball. The former Brewer, Alcides Escobar, will lead off for Kansas City. A free swinging leadoff hitter. Not much has changed from his days with the Brewers. He's certainly one of the best defenders at the shortstop position in the game today. But a lot of questions right now with Escobar hitting leadoff for Kansas City. He is batting just .255 and on base percentage of .285.
Yeah, it doesn't walk much. He can run, but not able to get on base enough. You'd like to have your leadoff hitter around the .330, .340 mark as far as on base percentage.
Escobar swings at one out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kyle Loesch hoping to get things moving in the right direction. He knows that his earned run average, it's going to be extremely difficult to get down into respectable numbers. So he's hoping to make it a start finish kind of deal as Escobar is hit by a pitch. Loesch hits him with a 2-strike pitch and a speedy base runner aboard for the Royals to start the game.
Yep, on a 1-2 count, and Escobar able to get first base. This is a very pesky offense, this Kansas City offense. They don't hit a lot of home runs, but they have struck out the fewest times in all the American League. They put the ball in play.
And pretty much a free swinging club. Mike Moustakas hitting in the 2 spot for this Kansas City team. Well, what a late season he had last year. What a postseason. And he's come out red hot to start 2015. Moustakas comes in with a batting average of .318. He's hit 5 homers. 20 runs batted in. Very high on base percentage of .369. He's a good guy to have in that 2 spot in the order.
Yeah, he used to be a dead pull hitter beginning of the season last year and before that, but he kind of changed things around. He got sent to the minor leagues and now moves the ball around the field. You can see the way the Brewers defense is set up pretty much straight away. Having a fine season, leads the Kansas City Royals in batting average.
Kansas City comes to Milwaukee from St. Louis. They're in the middle of a road trip, a 3-city road trip. They swept the Twins in 3, lost back-to-back games against the Cardinals, and the 3rd game of that series was postponed due to rain yesterday. So they're going to have to make that one up at a later date. They're I-70 rivals. Ned Yost, since 2010, has skippered the Royals. They went through a lot of hard times. There was high expectations that weren't met for a couple of years, and it all came together last year, but it didn't come together till kind of the late second half of last year. Yeah, many felt Ned Yost might be in trouble as the manager of the Royals last year, underperforming, but all the pieces came together when they needed to. They made it into the wild card spot. There goes Escobar. Moustakas hits it on the ground, gets by Gomez. And Escobar, he's going to try to score. Here comes the throw to the plate. One hop, the tag. Out at home.
Well, the question is, did Lucroy, was he blocking the plate? And did he have the baseball? I mean, that's what Ned Yost is going to go out, and we're going to take a look at the replay. Now, is Lucroy, how about this hustle by Escobar? Now, watch Lucroy. Is he blocking off home plate? I don't think so. Well, it's going to be close. I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody really understands the rule.
I think he's safe anyway.
Yeah, he's probably safe, but was he blocking home plate? Well, you're not supposed to do that anymore, and this is going to be interesting. A couple of different ways Ned Yost can go here.
Don Wakamatsu, the bench coach for Ned Yost, says challenge, and I think the Royals are going to get a run out of this.
Well, first of all, really no excuse for, on a ball like that, to be able to score. I'm not sure how that happened. But Escobar was running on the 3-2 pitch, or the 3-1 pitch. base hit into center field, and he comes around to score.
Gerardo Parra took a long time to get to that ball, and even though he made a great throw, didn't get to it quickly, and the Royals snuffed that out. Like Jerschel, the third base coach, noticed how slow Parra was getting to the ball, and he sent him home. Escobar has great speed, and that replay right there is not looking good for the Brewers. Laz Diaz, the calling umpire. The crew chief joining him is Jeff Nelson.
Well, you have to I'm not sure what they're going to say. They're going to be asking what they're looking at. Are they looking at whether Lucroy is blocking home plate, or was Escobar safe anyway?
So we have been told that the Royals are not challenging out or safe. They are challenging the home plate collision rule. So that's the official challenge here.
You can't be in front of home plate without the baseball, and that's going to be it's going to be close. I don't think anybody fully understands, you know, what the rule is and how it's implemented. It's not a good rule anyway.
There were 2 challenges overturned yesterday in the first inning. Both went for the Brewers. And they delay here as they take a look at these angles. And
the question is Escobar's foot up when it gets to home plate, or is it on the plate? A lot to look at here. This could take a while. I tell you, if I was the Royals, I'd be challenging whether Lucroy is blocking home plate.
And by the letter of the law, the catcher can only be in front of the plate, or meaning not allowing a sliding path, if he is attempting to make the catch on the ball. For instance, if the throw is leading him into that space, and that throw is coming from center field, I'm not sure you could say that right there, but we'll see how it's all sorted out. Lucroy certainly planted in front of home plate when he makes the catch. The man on the right will be making the call, Jeff Nelson. He is the crew chief. And we got a decision coming. Safe. So the run scores. Escobar flying around the bags. And a bigger story is why Parra didn't get the ball back to the infield faster. No reason a run should score on a single to center field. Now Craig Counsell wants an explanation.
Craig, I guess Craig Counsell not sure what they were replaying. So safer out or collision rule, not sure.
And we're getting word from the replay center that it is no violation of the collision rule. They just ruled that Escobar was safe. So
that's incredible hustle by Alcides Escobar. You're not going to see that every day.
A single and an RBI with a runner at first on a base hit to center.
It's kind of stuff Paul Molitor used to do. But it would be on a 3-2 count.
So Moustakas at second base. He goes to second on the throw, and here is Lorenzo Cain.
I actually saw Paulie do that in Kansas City back in the old days, a long single.
Lorenzo Cain hitting third in this Royals lineup, emerging as one of those players as he pops this one up, foul territory. And the first out. Not a good start for the Brewers here tonight. Loesch hit Escobar on a 1-2 pitch. And then Parra taking a little too much time in center field, and the Royals challenge him and end up scoring on this play.
And Escobar never does slow down. I mean, the third base coach over there just keeps waving him around, and initially called out, but upon review called safe.
It's a good way to slide too. Feet first when the catcher is in there like that.
End up with a broken nose if you don't.
Moustakas at second base with one out for Eric Hosmer. Hosmer is one of their power bats, but as Rock mentioned, they don't hit a whole lot of homers. Salvador Perez is their team leader in home runs with 10. Hosmer's hit 7 this year. He's pushing a 300 average. He's hitting .298, on base percentage at .370, and a shot right back up the middle of base hit. Moustakas around third, and he will score. And it's 2-0 Royals. Eric Hosmer with an RBI single.
You heard Craig Counsell talk about location, and Kyle Lohse has been having a difficult time locating his pitches this year, and particularly at home. Kyle's earned run average at Miller Park this year over 8.5. Doesn't throw hard enough to get away with too much of the plate and up.
So Lohse in an early hole here today against the Royals. 2-0 Kansas City. 2 hits and a hit batter. Here is Salvador Perez, and he swings and fouls it back. Tremendous player this guy is. Great catcher, great hitter, clutch hitter. He's a leader. Had a torn ACL a few years ago, and it delayed his presence in the big leagues, but he was one of the main reasons why the Royals have formed this nucleus of players, as he sends one to left, high in the air, long run for Peterson, and he can't get there. That's a foul ball.
Man, it wasn't foul by much either. That was close.
Just missed his glove. Third base umpire Jeff Nelson right on it. Good effort by Peterson. He had a long way to go. Look at that ball landed.
Yeah.
Something out of the French Open right there. No balls, 2 strikes. Perez and Drew Butera are the 2 Royals catchers. Butera doesn't get a whole lot of playing time behind the plate. This guy is a workhorse. Great with a pitching staff as well. He's starting to emerge as, well, he already is there. He was the all-star starter behind the plate last year, but emerging as one of the great catchers, two-way players in the league, offense and defense. Most likely it'll be he and Yadier Molina behind the plate at the All-Star game. And the way it's looking right now, the Royals are going to have plenty of representation at the All-Star game.
Just about every position the Kansas City fans have voted their guys in, at least so far. Getting late. Now you talk about all his skills, you know, physically behind home plate, at the plate. Calls a great game. Kansas City, the 2nd best ERA in the American League.
Just missed. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And once again, location. I mean, when Lohse is going good, I mean, he's going to catch that inside corner and get a hitter looking.
And a bouncer, and that's going to sneak through. Another base hit. And a little confusion with the middle infielders there, as Salvador Perez singles the 3rd hit of the inning.
And Kyle Lohse a couple of different times in this inning has thought he's thrown a double play ball. You know, the one that Moustakas hit just out of the reach of Gomez. And this one skips right through the infield. Both of them kind of went, stopped, and then started again. And Hosmer able to get into 3rd base.
Hector Gomez getting the start for Gene Segura. Getting a day off today. The Brewers are in the middle of a stretch of 17 consecutive games without a day off. This is the 11th day. of that stretch. And Carlos Gomez, a late scratch from the lineup as well. First and third for Alex Gordon. Gordon comes in with a batting average of .259.
And they pitch him inside. Apparently he's been hit 10 times already this year.
Homegrown product. Alex Gordon. Very talented defensive player as well, along with a pretty steady bat at the plate. He's been an all-star twice. He's won 4 consecutive Gold Gloves. Only other Royal to do that was Frank White, the great second baseman of the Royals. He won 6 in a row.
Yeah, Frank White, Willie Randolph, 2 of the reasons that Jim Gantner never won a Gold Glove. That was a good era for second baseman in the American League.
Now Frank White's reign started in '77. Those 6 consecutive Gold Gloves went through 1982. 2-2 pitch, and Gordon in the air to left. Peterson eases back, and this will be deep enough to score the run. So the Royals put 3 on the board. 2 outs in the inning now. Sac fly, RBI for Gordon.
Well, let's check out the Menards Brewers defense. They've been active already today in the first inning. Got Peterson out in left, moves Parra to center. Carlos Gomez still being having a tough time with that groin, that leg injury. Hector Gomez at short. Segura sits this one out. And Jonathan Lucroy back behind home plate. It was Maldonado yesterday.
That'll bring up Alex Rios. The only Royal who is not in the starting lineup for the All-Star team. Even the Royals fans who are stuffing the electronic ballot boxes can't justify Alex Rios, although he's up there in votes. He's hitting .197, and he's 4th in the league in votes.
It's all internet voting this year.
Yeah, no more paper balloting. Hey, I like Ned Yost's approach on that. They asked him about it, said, hey, if you don't like it, start voting more. Our fans are voting, and the Royals are going to let Mike Trout join the mix. But he's the only non-Royal that is among the starters. That includes the designated hitter, Kendrys Morales.
They're probably going to have a couple of relievers in there. Kendrys Morales not playing today, the designated hitter. He leads the Royals in RBIs.
Now Rios coming to the Royals his first year. Been bouncing around a little bit the last few years. He was with the White Sox, then the Rangers. Got traded in 2013 to Texas. They had him all of last year. And then he signed as a free agent with Kansas City this offseason. Began his career with the Blue Jays. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on, hit high in the air to right. Braun just in front of the track. And the first inning finally comes to an end. Not a good start for the Brew Crew. They're down 3-0 already. Top of the first, RBIs from Moustakas, Hosmer, and Gordon. And now Craig Counsell will have to watch his Brew Crew to see if they can have a come-from-behind win. They had one earlier on this homestand back on Thursday. Here's Counsell's Potawatomi batting order. He has Gerardo Parra leading off tonight. Jonathan Lucroy hits second, and Ryan Braun. Middle of the order is Adam Lind, Aramis Ramirez, Scooter Gennett, Shane Peterson, Hector Gomez, and Kyle Loesch will round it out. That's the batting order that will face a familiar face, Edinson Volquez.
Yeah, he's making his 18th career start against the Brewers. He's 7-4 with a .418 earned run average. He's been pretty consistent throughout the year. Hasn't allowed more than 4 earned runs in his start. He's only done that twice, so he's been pretty good. 5-4 with a 3.07 earned run average.
Brewers will get Volquez tonight, Chris Young tomorrow. Gerardo Parra back in the leadoff spot. Carlos Gomez out of the lineup. Still having some problems with that groin injury that's actually given him trouble up and around the hip. Sophia will have more on the injured Brewers. Chris Davis continues on the DL as well. Parra takes strike one from Volquez. Well, Gerardo's always up for the task. He's always up to play center field, and he can bat him anywhere in the lineup.
Been playing every day just about all season long. He's been swinging the bat well.
Parra sends one deep right field. On the run, Rios just in front of the wall makes a catch. The drawn-in wall out there in right was creeping up fast. Parra just missed it. Out number one. Here comes Jonathan Lucroy. He is in our T-Mobile game changer tonight. Interleague games only. Jonathan Lucroy in his career has a .330 batting average as a catcher. So while he's been in the game at the catching position, doesn't count some of his games at first base or DH. Owen Piazza and Joe Mauer, who doesn't catch any longer, with a higher batting average. Pretty good company there for Lucroy.
And Luke's got to get it going. There was a point in that last road trip where it looked like he was starting to swing the bat like the Lucroy people remember from last year. He's having a difficult time with the bat so far. He'll come around.
3 for 14 at the plate on the last series with the Nationals. Did have a couple of RBIs that came on a single, a key hit in one of the 2 Brewers wins in that series. Lucroy appearing in his 25th game after missing 38 with that fractured big toe on his left foot. Spent a little time in the minor leagues for a rehab assignment. Just hasn't been able to get going. He got out of the gate slow, then he got hurt. Still trying to settle into the season, and yet here we are in the middle of June. 3 balls and a strike, and that skips away. Lucroy will draw the walk. And a base runner here with 1 out against Volquez.
And your Menards Royals defense, one of the better defensive teams in all of baseball. They've committed only 33 errors, the 4th fewest in the American League. Gordon, Kane, and Rios in the outfield. Kane covers a lot of ground out there in center. Moustakas, Escobar, Infante, and Hosmer around the horn, and Salvador Perez behind home plate.
Lorenzo Cain. What a great talent he has turned out to be. He got under the wing of Mike Cameron during his time with the Brewers when he was a minor league player. Cameron was the big league center fielder, and he still credits Mike Cameron with teaching him how to play at this level. He's his own man now, though, Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah, not a better guy to teach you, though. Every aspect of being a Major League Baseball player, Mike Cameron.
Here's Ryan Braun. Got a man at first. The Brewers trailing 3-0. Royals scoring 3 times in the first. 3 hits and a hit batter in that first inning. Wasn't a good start defensively. Even though no errors show up on the board, the Brewers just not right defensively. A little slow on a ground ball up the middle that allowed Escobar to score from first. Maybe a little miscommunication on a ground ball up the middle between Hector Gomez and Scooter Gennett.
And those are the types of things you can't do when you're playing playoff teams. They're going to jump all over you. Give them extra outs. That's what Kansas City did. Starting pitcher for Kansas City has been hot and cold. I mean, they've been pretty good at times, but rank low in the baseball earned run averages for starting pitching. It's their bullpen that is eye popping so far this year, the best in all of baseball.
Yeah, it's a race to the 6th inning for the Royals. If they get a lead going into the 6th, wow, that ball was smoked. A bullet off the bat of Braun and a base hit just got past the diving Infante. 2 on with 1 away.
Didn't hear that sound much yesterday off the Brewers bats, and that was Scherzer on the mound. A ringing base hit up the middle. I tell you, Infante never even moved. That's how hard that ball was hit. By the time he moved, that ball was by him.
It's just a sound you don't hear very often. There's a sound when it hits the barrel, no question. We hear it every night. And then there's a sound when hitters like Braun hit the barrel. Tremendous bat speed. That was a thing of beauty right there.
I've heard it from Bryce Harper a few times this weekend.
That's true. So here's Adam Lind now with 2 on. The Brewers have a chance to get him right back. Lind's been hot, 6 for 14 on the homestand. That's a .429 clip. Overall average up to .289. Lind has an OPS over 850 right now. He's been streaky, but when he's gotten in the hot streaks, they have been heavy streaks where he's doing a ton of damage and getting a lot of hits, driving the ball all over the field, and they've been sustained streaks as well.
Yeah, Kansas City playing him pretty much straight away, but shading him to go to the opposite field in the outfield. They got Kane way around toward left.
Slaps that one that way. Moustakas to Escobar for 1. That'll turn into a double play. With the shift on, a 5-6-3 double play to end the inning for Volquez.
here in the second at Miller Park, and we take a look. Our AT&T U-verse rewind. How hot the Royals were in the postseason. They were within one game of winning the World Series. Lost that Game 7 to the Giants, and Madison Bumgarner, his terrific postseason run. Craig Counsell talking about the team that Kansas City has built. He said, no doubt, they are very talented, but noted it took a while for them to build this team. He said, they have all of the talent, but it takes time to let those young players develop. And he said, they went through a lot of lean years, a lot of fans, people around baseball saying it's not working, it's not working. But he said certainly they let the players develop, and he said it does work. And so they stuck with their group of players, they let them develop, and certainly it was worth the wait. And he noted the Royals have that team now that everybody across baseball probably wishes they had.
Yep, and they are certainly the envy of the league, and I think that puts some added pressure. I think there's, on one hand, you go to a World Series, it does buy you a little equity in the game, and I think a lot of scouts, baseball personnel, looking at the Royals top to bottom 1 through 25, Rock, this is one of the best teams in the big leagues right now.
No doubt. I mean, good combination of veteran guys that have been there, done that. It kind of reminds you a little bit about the Brewers when Ned Yost was managing Milwaukee. I mean, bringing up all those guys, Prince and Corey Hart, J.J. Hardy, Ricky Weeks, some lean years there, but let those guys mature and ended up into the postseason in 2008.
And just think about that run they were on last year as Infante works the count 2-2. Kansas City made it into the postseason as the number 1 wild card team. 2 wild card teams. The number 1 wild card team host that game. Ned Yost's team hosted the Oakland Athletics last year. They won 89 games in the regular season. 89-73. That's what got them in. Infante pops it up. Scooter Gennett will make the call. He's got it for out number 1.
Yeah, wild card teams win a lot of World Series. I mean, it's not the best team necessarily. It's the hottest team when you get to the postseason. And certainly the bullpen that they have put together got them into the postseason, and it was a nice run.
Now the Royals, if you would have stopped time in the 6th inning of the wild card game, John Lester on the mound for the A's. Kansas City down 7-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. It was not looking good for the Royals, and they ended up coming back. They scored 3 runs in the 8th. They tied it in the 9th. The game went 12 innings. It's one of the epic games in baseball playoff history, especially wild card history, and they ended up winning the game 9-8. And then they advanced, and you figure they may be a little beat up after going through that experience. Not the case. They went on and won 8 straight. They swept the next 2 series to get themselves into the World Series.
And that was a good World Series.
Yeah, it was.
Game 7.
Giants prevailed. Swing and a miss. Volquez down on strikes. And Loesch in need of a quick inning after a long first inning, has the first 2 men out here in the second.
All started in the first inning with a hit by pitch. The guy coming to the plate right now in a 1-2 count, Escobar, got hit, and Royals ended up getting 3 runs. That's the way it happens.
Escobar takes a strike. Escobar now 28 years of age. And all of the things you're starting to hear about Orlando Arcia, who is the Brewers' AA shortstop in Biloxi. All of the adjectives, the superlatives, reminds me of all the things we heard about Alcides Escobar when he was coming up. Turned himself into a fantastic major league player. He's always been an excellent defensive player.
He's filled out quite a bit too since his days with Milwaukee.
I think he was about 150 pounds when he arrived.
Soaking wet.
And he's a pretty tall guy. He's 6'1", a little over 6'1". I think they've got him listed at 185 now. Yeah, he looks a lot thicker now as he lines one into left. Peterson is there, and Loesch needed that. 1-2-3 inning, a quick one. 3-0 Royals. We head to the home second. Royals lead the Brew Crew 3-0 on our Potawatomi scoreboard. We head to the bottom of the second, and we are thrilled to have Trent Clark with us, the first Brewers pick this year, number 15 overall in the amateur draft. Welcome to Milwaukee. You're signed and sealed. You got a big fat signing bonus, and now you're ready to become a professional baseball player. What's this day been like for you, Trent?
Exciting. I got to meet a lot of big leaguers and be around a lot of awesome people and meet a lot of the Brewer family, so it was real exciting, and I've had a lot of fun so far.
A Texas boy from, is it Richland?
Yes, sir.
Texas, which is right there in the Metroplex,
yes,
the Dallas
sir.
Metroplex. And tell us about the transition from high school ball going into the draft process. Where did you think you might go, and what was that day like for you to get that phone call?
I was just trying to be really optimistic, so I didn't really expect to go anywhere, but at the same time prepared for being a professional baseball player and the mental aspect of that and the physical toll it has on your body. So it's been a fun week, and it's been a whirlwind, and I'm just excited.
You were down in the field today, stretching, hanging out with the guys down there. It was the first day you hit with wood today, or have you done that before?
Over the last few summers, I've been using wood, so I'm pretty used to it now.
You hit any out today?
I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying to stay in the moment and hit.
There's Aramis Ramirez as he sends one to center field. And there is out number one. So we have some footage for our fans of you today. And there you are, hitting the field for the first time. Craig Counsell kind of letting you know where to go. Luke Croy, there's Lee Tunnell, a fellow Texan. Darnell Cole's the hitting coach. And I'm sure you've had it coming at you from all angles today. And it doesn't stop now that you're on television with us. But as far as the days of your life and your career as a baseball player, where does this one rank up?
Pretty high. I mean, it's weird to see myself on the big screen right there. I mean, it's exciting. My family got to come down with me, and everybody's enjoying Milwaukee and the whole experience. So I've had a lot of fun so far, and being able to see the fans and how they love their baseball. It's a fun, exciting experience.
How would you describe yourself as a player? I mean, fast, athletic, obviously, but are you a power hitter? What kind of player are you?
I like to do a little bit of everything, but I wouldn't call myself a power hitter by any means. I just play the game as hard as I can, the right way, and that's how I was taught to play, and that's how I plan to continue to play.
Have they told you where you're going yet?
Yes, sir. I think they said they're still trying to decide, and nothing for sure yet, but they're thinking either Arizona or Hell in one of the 2 rookie leagues. So I'm just excited to be out there. It'll be fun.
I spent some time in the Pioneer League in Butte, Montana.
Okay.
I don't think Butte, the city's there, but there's no team there anymore.
Yes,
but that's a nice pretty part of the country. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I hear the summers are nice, so it'll be fun.
What do you think of Miller Park?
Awesome. I like the roof.
Roof's beautiful, and it's a hitter's park.
For sure. That's what I've heard. I heard the wind blows in off the lake and funnels out to right center. So
it does.
Excited about that.
You know, watching you take batting practice today, looking at some of those images, I think the one thing, and I was down there with Ray Montgomery, who is the vice president of amateur scouting, is responsible ultimately for signing you.
Yeah.
You look like you fit. I mean, you're 18 years of age, and you look like a big leaguer already in a lot of ways, and you're poised, and you're here talking to us like you've done a few of these interviews. Where does that come from?
Being raised well. I was raised really well, and my mother, I give thanks to my mother for that. And she put me around a lot of good people, and she's always kept me real grounded and had me around the right people, and I believe that's a big part of it. So that's what I think leads to all the success that I've had and my poise.
Shane Peterson flies out with Trent. We wish you the best of luck, man.
Yes, sir.
We're enjoying our opportunity to get to know you a little bit, and we'll watch you progress. Hopefully we'll see you down there pretty soon.
Yes, sir. Hopefully. Thank you for having me on.
Trent Clark,
Yes,
Brewers' first pick, the 15th overall. Got a bright future ahead of him.
Lead as we head to the third, and after breaking up Max Scherzer's perfect bid in the 7th inning, Carlos Gomez out of the Brewers lineup today with what the team is calling right leg tightness. Same thing that he missed several games for over the weekend. And Craig Counsell saying the goal is just to get Gomez 100%. So the last couple days he just has not been there, and so they're going to give him a couple days. He says he is able to play, so at this point it's not a disabled list situation, just a matter of getting him healthier, and they want Gomez healthy or as close to 100% as possible for the long term, not having him grind through the next few days.
All right, Sophia, thanks. And Gomez is out. Chris Davis still on the disabled list after undergoing surgery on that meniscus. So, you know, the Brewers a little thin right now in their outfield ranks. Gomez could certainly play, could certainly hit if need be an emergency, but pretty sure the Brewers would like to hold him back.
They tried to probably hold him back yesterday, but he wasn't going to miss a game when he had a bobblehead day here at Miller Park. But I got to play on my bobblehead day.
Thank goodness he did. He got the only hit of the day for the Brewers as Los walks Moustakas to start the third inning. Boy, how impressive is Trent Clark?
Yeah.
18-year-old kid. I mentioned he looked like he belonged when he took batting practice, but looks you in the eye, strong handshake, yes sir, no sir, and
very respectful,
very poised. Man, this kid's got something special. You can tell.
Brought up well, for sure.
His mother Michelle, his father John, and his siblings Riley and Tate. Tate's his brother. Riley's his little sister. They're all with him today, and kudos to Michelle and John.
Yeah.
That's, you raising.
Normally I would just say you were bragging about a guy from Texas, but I agree with you this time.
Richland, Texas. Lorenzo Cain rips one foul. His high school statistics are crazy. He hit, I mean, take it for what it's worth, but Richland, you know, that's a decent sized high school there. They play very good baseball in Texas. He hit .552. His batting average was .552. Had 3 homers, 24 RBIs, 11 stolen bases. It's like a 20-game season.
It looks like he can't wait to get going. Get up out of that chair. I said, how long are you sticking around? He said, I'm leaving and I'm going to start my career. Well, you love to hear that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. The slotting system really works well these days to get that done. Guys aren't holding out any longer. Not to say Trent Clark would have been a holdout, but you know, the slotting system allows for a level of money that these draft picks, depending on what pick they are and what round they are, they know about what they're going to get. It takes away some of the negotiations, and you get signed and you get going.
Plus, the signing period is not that long anymore.
Okay, 1 month shorter than it used to be. It used to be into August. 2-2 to Cain. Got a runner at first to start the inning. Well, we wish him well. The Brewers and Vice President of Amateur Scouting Ray Montgomery had a big day today, signing 3 of their top picks. Trent was the first pick by the Brewers. Also a right-handed pitcher, Cody Ponce. He signed today, and Nash Walters, who was a 3rd rounder, signed. Cody joined Sophia for our pregame show today. Kind of him to do that. 2nd round pick by the Brewers. And all 3 of those guys signed on the dotted line today, and they'll be off and running. Ponce coming out of the junior college ranks. Or I beg your pardon, was a junior out of Cal Poly Pomona. He's a college player, an older player. Walters, a 3rd rounder who signed today, like Trent Clark, a high school pick. And he's another Texan out of Lindale, Texas.
And Brewers still waiting on their 2nd round pick, or their 2nd pick in the draft, the left-handed pitcher.
Cain into center field, hit well, but right at Parra for the out.
Hey, the Twins are here at Miller Park on June 26th through the 28th, and on Sunday the 28th, all fans will get a bobblehead of the Brewers Hall of Famer and current Twins manager Paul Molitor, courtesy of Clements. Visit Brewers.com to reserve your spot at the ballpark today.
It's a great bobblehead too, because he's sliding into third base.
Tag him out.
No, he's got the base already.
Yeah.
He's already on the base.
Always late. Day late and $1 short.
He'll be here while he's managing the Twins for his bobblehead. Paul Molitor. Twins are hanging with the Royals in the Central Division of the American League. Minnesota a game and a half back of Kansas City, starting play today, having won yesterday. Eric Hosmer takes a strike.
Molitor might have been the best base runner I ever saw in baseball. I mean, talk about instincts and speed, getting a jump. Just had that sense on the bases.
On the ground at second, Jeanette fires to second, and the throw took Gomez off the bag a little. So the Brewers get just one out. Got a new Keystone combination tonight, and not quite synced up here this evening.
No, the throw off the mark just a little bit. Scooter Jeanette was out early working out with Mike Guerrero and Jerry Narin on that pivot play right there. I mean, that drop step and a throw to second base. Something that he feels as though he needs to improve upon, and that throw a little bit off the mark cost him a double play.
Hector has a great throwing arm. He can make up a lot of ground, but no chance on that throw. Would have been a close play anyway. Hosmer at first with 2 away for Salvador Perez. singled up the middle his last time up. One of the 3 hits in the first inning for the Royals. Ground ball foul past third. Kansas City started their road trip in Minnesota, then St. Louis, and then the Brewers are going to follow them to Kansas City. This home and home 4-game series with the Royals. Hit hard, but right at Gomez. Fires to Jeanette for the final out of the inning. Back-to-back zeros for Loesch. 3-0 Kansas City. Hector Gomez will lead off when we come back. We head to the bottom of the third. A reminder, it's coming up Thursday. An American tradition comes to Fox and Fox Sports 1 for the first time. The greatest golfers in the world converge on the Pacific Northwest. A chance to stamp their names in the history books. Our exclusive coverage of the 115th U.S. Open Championship live from Chambers Bay begins June 18th. This Thursday on Fox Sports 1, Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And we wish the best to Joe Buck, Greg Norman and company. They got a great team assembled behind the scenes as well. Producer Mark Loomis and director Steve Bime. Terrific golf people in there. And Fox getting this USGA event is going to be exciting to watch. Everybody's curious. They'll do a great job with it. Hector Gomez leads off. Volquez retiring the side in order in the second inning. All 3 outs were fly ball outs to center field.
You got to really wait back on Volquez. I mean, he can get it up there in the mid-90s, but normally 92, 93 with a terrific changeup. And that curveball right there. That's a good pitch, too.
And Gomez is down easily. Strikeout, the first of the day for Volquez. 1 away.
And very similar to Max Scherzer in yesterday's ball game, is only going to throw strikes if you make him throw strikes. If you lay off that stuff off the corners, he's going to come into you. And that's when he becomes hittable, when he's behind an account and you show to him that you're not going to chase. That's what Scherzer did yesterday.
Well, my first instinct coming to the ballpark was anybody other than Scherzer is going to look hittable in this game. The Brewers do have a hit. That was Ryan Braun. I mean, Scherzer, what he did yesterday was one of the great pitching performances of the season. A 1-hit shutout with 16 strikeouts. Kyle Loesch with a base hit. bangs one through the hole between third and short. That's how you do it. The Brewer pitcher getting into the act. That leads us to our Carsute.com trivia tonight. Which team does Ned Yost have more wins as a manager with? The Brewers or the Royals? Good question. His managerial tenure with the Brewers ended in 08. At the end of the season in 08, took over the Royals in 2010. Gerardo Parra takes a ball.
That's a good one.
I did not know this, but Ned Yost is the second winningest manager in Royals franchise history. And he is just 3 wins shy of the franchise record, which was set by Royals Hall of Fame member Whitey Herzog, who managed Davey Nelson there in Kansas City in the late 70s. Ned Yost passed Dick Hauser on the number 2 spot on the list with a win this past Monday, or last Monday, a week ago, in Minnesota. The late Dick Hauser.
And Ned took over the Brewers in 2003. 2003 to 2008. Was relieved of his duties with about 2 weeks left. Dale took over, and Brewers got into the playoffs as a wild card.
Yeah, that erased a 26-year drought. 26-year postseason drought as Parra fouls it away.
That's what we're talking about. Very similar stories for Ned Yost with these 2 organizations. Young players coming up, a lot of them coming up at the same time. They had to learn how to play at the big league level. Some growing pains that Ned had to endure. Same thing here with Kansas City.
Fascinating discussion before the game today with Ned, with the media members, and very open about his time here. Said he learned a lot, appreciated every minute of his tenure as the Brewers manager, and now he looks back on it and realizes there were a lot of things that he did wrong, a lot of things that he's improved upon this time around. And when pressed on it, he said, I didn't trust my coaches when I was here in Milwaukee. I tried to do everything myself. I took that burden on of every little piece of the puzzle, every player who was slumping, every pitcher who was having a tough time. Parra into right center, and it's falling fast. It's down, a base hit. Loesch stumbling around the bag will end up at third base. That's a double for Gerardo Parra. And the Brewers have something cooking here in the third.
And Parra made good contact both times up. He took Rios to the wall in right his first time up. This time able to find the gap. Rios not running all that great these days, getting up there in age, and this one almost gets to the wall. He grabs it on the warning track, and Loesch able to move around to third base. So the Brewers a hit away from getting back into this ball game.
Parra's having a nice homestand. That's his 7th hit of the homestand in the 5th game. He's now 7 for 18 at the plate.
Just a good player. He has a good idea at the plate, knows what his job is each and every time he walks into that batter's box.
Big spot for Lucroy with 1 out. Got to take these scoring chances when you can get them. Lucroy walked his first time up. His batting average with runners in scoring position just 190 this year. He's just 4 for 21. Not a large sample size. Historically has been one of the best in scoring position the Brewers have had.
And ordinarily guys that put the ball in play, don't try to hit home runs and don't strike out, are going to be good in these spots.
All of that damage against the AL done against the Minnesota Twins that last 3-game series in Minnesota, including his first and only homer of the year. Long ball here would tie it up. Here's the 1-1. Lucroy rips one right to third. Good base running by Loesch.
That's the way it's been going for Lucroy. Hit that one right on the nose, but right at Moustakas. All you can do is hit it. You can't put it where you want him. And right to him.
Luke lines out to Moose.
But that is good base running by the pitcher, of all people, able to freeze on the line drive and get back.
Second and third with 2 outs now for Braun. And with a base open at first, we'll see how aggressive Edinson Volquez will be with Braun. Braun hit a bullet his last time up. Had some serious heat coming off the bat.
And Brawny hitting near 300 against Volquez.
See our Powerball home run leaderboard. Braun with 13. He leads the club. Adam Lind has 9. Braun pushing his way into the top 10. He does have a homer against Volquez in his career. Now 14 for 45 lifetime. He's seen a ton of Volquez. No secrets between these two.
And that's when Volquez will reach back a little bit in spots like this. Just clip 95 miles an hour on that last fastball. Feels like 95 down there probably.
Yeah, nice and steamy down on the field at Miller Park with the roof closed up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Second and third for the Crew here in the bottom of the third. And Braun lays off. 2-1. Royals got 3 in the first. RBIs from Moustakas, Hosmer, and Alex Gordon. Brewers did put 2 on in that first inning, but a double play ball helped Volquez out. So the best scoring threat for Milwaukee. Quick chat from Perez with Volquez. You wonder if it had anything to do with that open base over at first. Those are the career numbers.
Although Adam Lind hitting at 375 against Volquez, so pick your poison.
The man on deck. 2 balls and a strike. And Braun chops it foul. Came right after him. 94 on the fastball from Volquez.
I don't see them pitching around Braun to get the Lind for sure. Not with the, to load up the bases for Adam Lind, who's been swinging the bat well. Sometimes Volquez gets a little breaking ball happy, and I think that might have been what Perez went out there to have a chat with. Just threw him a fastball.
And it was a good one too. See what he does here. 2-2 the count. There's a breaking ball. Good block. So Braun in a 3-2 count now. Big spot early in this game. Brewers down 3-0. Braun trying to deliver here with 2 away. The payoff pitch. And Braun chops it to third. Moustakas will make the play to end the inning. Volquez strands a pair. The Brewers get second and third with 1 out. And they leave him right there. on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. 3-0 Royals to the top of the fourth we go. And in today's game, we are participating in the home run challenge. Today, every Brewers home run in this game raises $12,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. Alex Gordon will lead off for the Royals. Kansas City with 3 in the first. Loesch giving up 3 hits, and he hit a batter in that first inning. And while Loesch gave up 3 hits and 3 runs, probably should have fared better in that frame defensively. There are no errors on the board, but the Brewers not exactly tight defensively in that first inning. Loesch needs good defense behind him. There's going to be a lot of balls in play.
Yeah, not going to get a lot of strikeouts, and when he's right, he's going to get ground balls. All 3 of the hits were ground balls against Loesch in that inning.
One ball, 2 strikes. And Gordon rolls over one. Lynn knocks it down. He'll take it himself for out number 1. Here's Alex Rios with 1 away. Rios, last time up, flew to right. Every time I look at Alex Rios, I think about Prince Fielder's inside the park home run here at Miller Park. Rios was the right fielder of the Blue Jays that year. And the ball went down the right field line, and it stuck underneath that padding. And Rios, who was with the Blue Jays and at Rogers Center, if it sticks under the padding, it's a dead ball. So Rios just assumed it was a dead ball here at Miller Park. Not the case. You got to go fish it out from underneath the padding, between the ground and the padding.
And Prince was flying around those bases.
Yes, he was, and it was his second inside the park homer of his career.
Arms and legs going.
It was all going. It wasn't just arms and legs. It was all going on.
Yeah, Eddie hit one in Minnesota in the Metrodome.
Right. Hit a speaker up there. Prince Fielder, I remember the joke at the time. Corey Hart was the fastest player on the team. Prince Fielder had more inside the park homers than Corey Hart. Prince Fielder is leading the American League in batting. Starting play today, by the way. That ball's hit hard. Base hit for Rios. Long run for Parra. Rios is going to second, and the throw is late. That'll be a double.
These guys don't mess around on the bases, do they? They're always looking to take the extra base. And first to third, they went from first to home in the first inning, and Rios thinking double right out of the batter's box, kicks it into overdrive, and Parra not able to get there in time.
That snaps. An 0 for 14 for Alex Rios. It's a 1-out double. Here is Omar Infante. I haven't spoken to Omar Infante, but my guess is while he would accept an all-star appearance bid as a starter, he would not necessarily want to be there because he is having a rough year at the plate. And as he sends one to left field off the end of the bat to Peterson. Out number 2. I mean, you show up at the All-Star game and all these players have put up these great first halves for the most part, and then you show up with a 204 batting average. which is going to be talked about and discussed.
I wouldn't care. I'd go.
I'm sure he'd go, but it does, you know.
I think it's all relative. I mean, good numbers offensively this year. I mean, it's kind of down a little bit across the board in baseball. You know, some guys having some pretty good seasons, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, there aren't too many teams that the Brewers have played where you can honestly say these guys can hit. And they can just, you know, wear you out with base hits and home runs.
Volquez with 2 outs.
There have been games where, you know, the Brewers have swung the bat well and they've scored big runs, and vice versa. I mean, there's been games where the Brewers have they've gotten beat up pretty good with some big offense, but for the most part, you look at the numbers, and nothing really sticks out at you. I mean, home run totals down. But I see what you're saying, hitting 200, a little different.
That's going to be a swing for Volquez. Loesch gets a strikeout, strands a runner at second. We head to the home fourth. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Kansas City up 3-0. We are through 3.5. Brewers are coming up in the home fourth. Well, the Milwaukee Bucks dancers are holding open auditions on Sunday, July 12th. Write this down, Rock. It begins at 9 a.m. at the BMO Harris Bradley Center. And for more information, visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the More tab. Did you write that down? It's at the BMO.
Did you say something?
Yeah, it's a big dance audition.
I've been wanting to say that for a while.
That's my line.
I know. It's all right. It only took me 9 years to steal it.
Adam Lind is ready to lead off. Volquez taking a little time after he was called out on strikes in the fourth inning.
Clock ran out on him.
So the clock. What happens when the clock runs out? Does something explode? Or?
Nothing.
Oh.
It's not an enforceable infraction.
It's just up there for psychological purposes. It has worked. It's worked. I think players look at it. Their time of game is shorter and crisper between innings.
It's like the batter's box infraction.
Clock's dark during the in-play portion of the telecast. The catcher's box?
Batter's box. Got to stay in the box, right?
That ball's hammered into left center. A base hit. Adam Lind.
That's why you don't walk Braun. He can hit. He can hit for sure.
Clean single. Leadoff single for the Brewers here in the fourth. The fourth hit to go along with a walk. And here is Aramis Ramirez. So for the batters, they have to keep 1 foot in the box at all times.
Unless they swing and miss, there's a foul ball, or one's up and in.
So if you just take a pitch, you got to stand in there. At least have 1 foot in there. So Ramirez, yeah, there he goes. Standing in the box.
He's not a roamer. He's never been a guy that does that.
Aramis is a speed player, no doubt. He talks about it too. He said this game gets too slow.
Oh, you're talking about speed up.
Speed up player.
Yeah.
Not wheels.
Not fast.
Not with his.
I got you.
He likes to.
I thought you were joking.
Likes to get things moving. I talked to him a lot about it actually, because we need everybody, every player. You know, baseball can do what they want. They can put a clock up and do all this. Umpires call strikes, and players would move faster and not take so much time between pitches, hitters and pitchers. He's all for it. And he swings at a lot of first pitches, so he does his part.
And swing at strikes when they come in. You don't have to work the count. You don't have to wait till it's 2-1 or 3-1. It's the way it used to be. Guys are up there hacking. Game's changed. The objective is a little bit different. You want to get pitch counts up. You didn't used to have pitch counts, so that wasn't an issue. Get a guy around 100 pitches. He's gone, and bring in the bullpen. That's the idea these days.
One ball, 2 strikes. As much as I love and respect those who played the game from another era, the one argument that I hear a lot of, especially from former great pitchers, it doesn't fly with me, because you know, they talk about, man, I used to get through 9 innings with 90 pitches. But if they were pitching today, that wouldn't be that way. It'd be different.
And pitchers will tell you that pitched back then. Absolutely. It's a different game.
Ramirez lines one to right. Rios runs it down. Those smooth strides of Alex Rios.
Hey, that brings us to tonight's Tavern of the Game winner. It's Emma's Bar in River Falls, Wisconsin. That's over there by the Minnesota border on 94. You drove through there on your way to the Twin Cities.
I was thinking about stopping by at Emma's Bar.
Yep. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
If I'd have known, I could have hand delivered their tickets.
UW River Falls up there.
I like the way you say that too. Up there.
Northwest.
I spent a little time slightly north last night and earlier today. Elkhart Lake.
Yeah. That's straight north.
Yeah, just about a little over an hour. Fantastic little town. Big fan.
What were you doing up there?
The family's up there on a vacation. They decided to go on vacation without me.
Without you. You're never home.
So school's out, you know, and like, we're out of here. I said, well, I'll come up and spend the night and day at the Osthoff Resort, one of my favorite little getaways.
Did they act like they enjoyed your presence?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time alone in the last 24 hours, actually. Swing and a miss by Jeanette makes it 1-2.
So that little shout out got you how many free nights?
I don't know. I hope a lot, because it's kind of expensive. Great people up there. You'd have been proud of me this morning. Went out on the boat, rented a boat, a fishing boat.
You drove it yourself?
I did, of course. I'm going to have my 15-year-old drive it.
And you docked it?
Oh, yeah. Come on, man.
That's the toughest part.
It is. It's a little boat.
Anybody could take it out.
I didn't have any fishing gear, though. We saw a lot of fish. Bounce to first. That's fair. Hosmer steps on the bag, and Lind is out at second base. A double play to end the inning. Eric Hosmer with a nice play. He's a slick fielder as well. They got him everywhere with this Royals team. Monday night in Milwaukee. That's a glorious sight. 3-0 Royals. Brewers got some work to do tonight. Top of the Kansas City batting order is coming up. Alcides Escobar. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. This came in the very first inning. Escobar running on the pitch. Moustakas singles to center field, and the Royals catch the Brewers napping a little bit. Escobar scored on a base hit to center. It was a bang play, initially called out. It went to a replay review challenge and it was overturned. Escobar was able to slide in safely.
It worked out well for the Royals, but that's typically not something you want to do, make the first down at home plate, particularly in the first inning.
Escobar right off the end of the bat. Jeanette will make the play for the first out. They want to send out a birthday wish tonight. Our longtime press box attendant and friend Marty Welskoff celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday, Marty. The gatekeeper out there.
He didn't say anything.
No, we had to go deep into the records to find that. Mike Moustakas on base twice. Single and an RBI. He had that hit that scored Escobar in the first inning that we showed you. He scored himself in that inning. Walked his last time up. Moustakas is among league leaders in hitting in the American League starting play today. I mentioned Fielder leads the league. He's hitting .343 for the Rangers. And then Cabrera, Jason Kipnis of the Indians, Nelson Cruz fourth in the league, and then there is Moustakas, fifth in the AL in batting. And he draws another walk. He's walked twice. He's been on base 3 times.
Hey, it's the Brewers and Royals again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock as the Brew Crew closes out the home half of their interleague matchup with the defending American League champs. Great seats are still available starting at just $15. Go to brewers.com for tickets.
One out, man at first for Lorenzo Cain. You look at what Cain's been able to do in his career. How much of an impact player he's become in the big leagues. Hard to believe that he never played baseball until he was 15 years of age. That ball is hit deep into left field. Cain will watch this one go. 2-run home run for Lorenzo Cain. His 5th of the year. And just like that, the Royals up 5-0.
Well, the home run has been a problem for Kyle Lohse all year. 16th allowed by Lohse. And Cain back legs that one. See the way he's got his weight on his back leg and that uppercut swing and knocks it out of here into the Fridays area up there.
Well, extends a hitting streak for him to 6 in a row.
That was a slider that stayed up and didn't have the corner.
And the troubles continue for Lohse. Hosmer 1 out of 2 tonight. He drove in a run with a single in the first inning. Five earned runs on the board against Lohse. It's the 6th game this year that he has allowed 5 earned runs or more. Just very un-Lohse-like. Hasn't been himself this season. He was the Brewers opening day starter. Contract year for him. Maybe putting pressure on himself. You don't know.
Oh, I imagine that's happening for sure. I mean, he takes these things very seriously. He's all about winning and losing, not just his games, but the team.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Hosmer. Misses outside.
It's very frustrating for him not to be able to put the baseball where he wants it.
I mean, this is a pitcher that has started to move into the elite status as far as innings and ERA the last 4 years. Not many like him as Hosmer flies out. Last 4 years he's kept an ERA under 3.5, and he's typically made every start. You can count on him for 30+ starts a year, around 200 innings. Just aren't many guys that do that each and every year like Loesch has been able to do.
Right.
And this year it's just been another story. While he's taking his turn every 5th day, he just continues to give up a ton of earned runs.
And that's what happens when you don't throw hard and you rely on the change-ups, the off-speed pitches, the curveballs and sliders, and they're getting a lot of the plate and they're up in the strike zone. As opposed to a guy like Jimmy Nelson, you can get away with maybe a bad pitch from time to time because you have the velocity behind it. Cal just doesn't have that luxury.
Last 3 seasons, Loesch has averaged 32 starts. He's averaged a little over 200 innings and an ERA around 3.3. That includes his last year in St. Louis when he went 16-3 with a 2.86 earned run average, and he led the league in games pitched that year. Up the middle, right there is Jeanette, and Perez is out to end the inning. 2-run homer by Lorenzo Cain. 5-0 Royals.
Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Lorenzo Cain's home run gives the Royals a 5-0 lead. And Brewers players, Brewers wives, and other community leaders joined the Salvation Army in kicking off the Feed the Kids Summer Meals program. Guests prepared 1,800 lunches for the Salvation Army Feed the Kids Summer Meal program. The program is designed to meet the needs of children in Milwaukee's disadvantaged neighborhoods. Mike Guerrero, Gene Segura, Willie Peralta, Martin Maldonado also on hand there at a great event earlier today.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Good work by those guys getting out and doing their part. Segura getting the day off today after coming back from that broken pinky finger. Shane Peterson will lead off for the Brew Crew. Edinson Volquez working on a shutout. He's got a 4-hitter going. The Royals lead at 5-0. It has been a while since the Brewers hit the pay station. They have not scored a run in 20 innings.
Yeah, second inning of Saturday's game against Washington. Got to get it going. They face some pretty good pitching, but still in all, you got to figure out a way to get it done.
Brewers had a winning road trip. They won 5 out of 9 against contending teams. Split with the Nationals, a contending team. Certainly the Royals, a first-place team. Be a big test for them in this 4-game stretch. One more here at Miller Park tomorrow, and then to Kansas City for Wednesday and Thursday night. Kauffman Stadium, the beautiful Kauffman Stadium, as Peterson strikes out for the first out. Back to our Carsoup.com trivia. Which team does Ned Yost have more wins as a manager with? Brewers, Royals. What do you say? If you said Brewers, you win. Tell them what they've won, Rock.
Nothing.
That's right. Nothing.
Pat on the back.
He is gaining on the Royals side of that.
About the same amount of time he was managing, right?
Hector Gomez hit by a pitch, looked like a breaking ball, maybe a changeup by Volquez that got away. He'll take that. A base runner with 1 out. And Counsell is going to make the move here. Kyle Loesch is out. Hernan Perez will pinch hit. Dave Island, the pitching coach, is out for a scouting report with Volquez and Perez. There's Hernan. So Loesch, another short night. 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs all earned.
Yep, and another home run allowed for Kyle Loesch. It's been a season-long issue for him. 16 home runs allowed.
Hernan Perez pinch hitting. Man on, 1 out in the 5th. Has just 1 hit as a Brewer. Started the year with the Tigers. Probably a player that needs a little more time in the minor leagues to develop, but he's out of minor league options, so you have to keep him in the big leagues or you run the risk of losing him. He's working hard at it, though. It's not just game day that matters for Perez, or game time. This was video of him earlier today working with Darnell Coles.
They're working on staying back, shooting that pitch that's down the middle into center field, not thinking about hooking it and pulling it so much. There you
right
go.
Up the middle, and Escobar gets through him. Base hit.
On cue, right? Good job in the production truck. Had some good stuff working on going up the middle, and what does he do?
There's a smile in there somewhere. I know it. Mark in the book. You know, and it looks like pretty mundane work, putting a ball on a tee, but trying to change muscle memory a little bit. You get out of sync, out of confidence, especially you're not playing every day. And it's been a tough season for him offensively.
You can work. You do such good work on that tee. There's so many things that you can work on: inside, outside, point of contact, letting the ball get to you, and putting it in different spots. You got to hit it more out in front on a pitch in, and you have to wait on it, let it get to you a little bit more on a pitch away. I mean, it's just a very good hitting tool. Big leaguers use it. Everybody should use it out there.
Gerardo Parra out to second. Glove there by Infante. His only play is first. The second out of the inning. Second and third now. But 2 men out, and here comes Lucroy.
Opening that roof cooled things off nicely here, didn't it?
Feels great. Nothing better in the summer up here in the Midwest. It was getting a little steamy in here. A little water on the rocks would have been nice. No air conditioning in Miller Park. A lot of people don't know that. There's air conditioning in the, you know, the suites, the press boxes and what have you, but the ballpark is not air conditioned.
Yep, you can only heat it, can't cool it off.
And you can only heat it 20 degrees from the outside temperature. So those cold days can still be cold inside Miller Park. I think that's part of the charm, though, of the place. You know, you still get a little bit of the elements, but never enough of the elements to make you not want to show up to the ballpark. You know there's going to be a game, rain or shine.
It might be cool, but it's going to be dry.
Right. Brewers trying to cash one in here. They need it. Down 5-0. Lucroy right center. That ball's well hit. Kane on the run. Cannot get there. To the wall it goes. 2 runs are in. Gomez and Perez score. Lucroy delivers a 2 RBI double, and it's 5-2 Kansas City.
And that's what he does. I mean, taking the ball to the opposite field. Look at a breaking pitch from Volquez, and watch the point of contact for Lucroy. Right off that back leg, not over swinging. And watch the way he waits on it and just drives it out there, slicing away from Kane as he tries to catch up to it. And missed it by a couple of feet, and the Brewers on the board, snapping their scoreless inning streak.
Yep, 20 consecutive innings. First runs across since Saturday. Well, let's see if that'll open the gates a little bit.
Brewers about to hit Kansas City tonight.
Here's Ryan Braun with a man at second, 2 away in the inning. Braun had a hit in the first. He had the first Brewers hit, a single. That line drive off the bat of Braun in the first inning came off his bat at 104 plus miles per hour. As you see his night at the plate, presented by Wendy's.
Nice to hit one out there at about 60, dump one in there and get another run. Doesn't matter how hard you hit him, but the point is, I mean, he can hit him as hard as anyone.
Oh, he's got the count in his favor. Volquez taking a peek at Lucroy. And Braun lays off. 3 balls, no strikes. So important. If you're going to get the Royals, you got to try to get them before they get into the 6th inning or into the 7th inning. If a starter goes 6, they can be tough to beat.
Yeah, with the lead.
Their late inning relief is about as good as it gets. In tight, almost hit him. Braun walks on 4 consecutive pitches. And suddenly the tying run is coming to the plate here with 2 outs. Here comes Adam Lind.
Volquez can be wild. He will walk batters if you're patient with him. 2 walks tonight gives him 29 for the season.
Here's Lind. Adam had a ringing line drive in the 4th. His 7th hit on the homestand. Hitting .438 on this homestand, and a wave and a miss. That changeup by Volquez. That's his pitch.
Yeah, that's a Bugs Bunny changeup right there, way out in front. In a fastball count, that's when you want to throw it.
Once traded for Josh Hamilton, Edinson Volquez from the Rangers to the Reds. Foul tip. That one caught a good piece of the Royals catcher, Perez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Common courtesy. Home plate umpire Laz Diaz runs all the way out to the mound to deliver the ball. That'll give his catcher a little more time to shake it off.
They clean the plate off, and Perez says, I'm all right, let's go. It's not going to feel any better.
One ball, 2 strikes on Lind. First and second with 2 outs. 2 runs are in. Lucroy with a double, driving in a pair. A 2-out, 2 RBI double. Those are the numbers with runners in scoring position. Good ones. 3 of his 9 homers coming in spots like this. He's been even better with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Going through a lot of signs back there. Volquez shaking off a number of times. Brewers have seen a lot of them pitching in this division with the Reds and the Pirates last year.
And Lind's hit him well.
This time Perez asked for and is granted timeout, and he wants to get it straight. Obviously, Perez has it in mind what he wants to throw here, and Volquez is not buying it.
A lot of off-speed pitches. Matter of fact, they've been all off-speed pitches since the first pitch, a fastball that he missed with.
Got Lucroy at second, Braun at first. On the ground, that is Hosmer, and right there for him, Volquez to end the inning. So he picked the right pitch. Brewers finally get on the board. The scoreless streak is over thanks to Jonathan Lucroy. 2 RBI double, 5-2 Kansas City.
Kansas City as we head to the top of the 6th inning. 2 runs for the Brewers in the bottom of the 5th, courtesy of Jonathan Lucroy. And this summer, free shirt Fridays are back and better than ever. On Friday, June 26th, the Brewers kick off their weekend series against the Twins. And all fans at Miller Park will get a Jonathan Lucroy t-shirt courtesy of Quick Trip. For tickets, go to Brewers.com today.
I got one for you.
It's a good one.
At least for your right arm.
What size is that?
That would be a medium.
That'd be you, right?
That would fit one shoulder. He's a big boy. It's a nice shirt, though. I like it. And it's free.
That's yours. Good. That's a nice shirt, though. I like that, Luke.
We got to break these out. An inning before this one, and then we could have had something to do with the rally, maybe.
As Neil Kotz takes over for the 27th time. No record. a .410 earned run average. Kotz has been pretty good as of late. Matter of fact, the Brewers bullpen in general has been very good. Kotz last pitched on Saturday against the Nationals. 2 scoreless innings that included 3 strikeouts.
Facing Alex Gordon to start the inning. Kotz has found that cut fastball he throws. He's got a more traditional breaking ball, a little slider, but then he's got the one that he throws a little harder, and it just at the last minute tucks away from a left-handed hitter. Makes him very effective against right-handed hitters when he's right.
Yep, cutters, sliders, fastballs away. Not afraid to come inside once in a while.
Over the last 15 games, the Brewers bullpen a 0.83 earned run average. Kotz has been a big part of that. He's gone multiple innings on many occasions during that. Only the Cardinals have a lower ERA from the bullpen during that stretch in all of baseball. I think the interesting part of that note is the innings pitched by the bullpen. So since May 30th, we're talking 15 games. Brewers relievers have had to account for 54 1/3 innings. That's a lot. The Cardinal bullpen during that same stretch, 32 2/3 innings.
Right. Makes a big difference. Well, rest is important for those guys.
Gordon rips one to right, a base hit.
As good as the Brewers have been in that stretch, Kansas City's bullpen has been the best all season in all of baseball. Those guys out there.
They carry 8 relievers. And they're about as good as it gets in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Their closer, Greg Holland, is elite. Alex Rios. So it's one thing to have bullpen success. It's another thing to do it when you're having to account for over 3.5 innings per game in a stretch like that.
Which is a lot better than what it was early in the season for that Brewers bullpen. Starting pitching has been, as a general rule, much better getting deep into games. It was a short start for Loesch today.
I think the fear, if you talk to Craig Counsell and Rick Kranitz, is that there is a payback at some point when you're using your relievers as much. There's a little flare into shallow center field, and that's going to fall, a base hit. Snap throw to second, not in time. There was a force out there, but Gordon able to reach. Alex Rios has his second hit, 2 on to start this 6th inning.
Yeah, kind of caught in no man's land was Gordon. Not sure if that ball was going to be caught. If he went too far and Parra catches it, he's going to be doubled off. A little jam shot. Kotz got in on his hands with that cutter. Parra thinking about the play at second base, but a little bit too late.
So 2 men on, back-to-back singles for Omar Infante.
Might be a bunting situation here. The Royals have Kendry Morales on deck.
Swinging away, Infante into left center field, and that's down, a base hit. All the runners had to freeze, so nobody scores, but the bases are loaded as Infante finds space in left center.
Well, that ball was up in the air a long time. Had some air under it, not hit all that hard, but just threading the needle in between Peterson and Parr out there. Couldn't have hit it in a better spot. Arota tried to dive, missed it. Good job of backing up by Peterson. But the bases are loaded with nobody out. Another tough call for Gordon out there at second base this time.
That snaps an 0 for 15 for Infante. Well, Ned Yost is going to take a shot right here. He is going to go for the knockout punch. His designated hitter, Kendrys Morales, will bat with the bases loaded and nobody out. Volquez is done. 5 innings, 2 runs, in line for the win. It's good numbers this year. Morales, 7 homers, 41 RBIs. Keep in mind, Kansas City, one of the toughest home run ballparks in the American League. So he is driving in a ton of runs. He's 5th in the American League in RBIs and not getting the benefit of big home run numbers. It's turned out to be a great sign for the Royals, getting Kendrys Morales in play.
Lost Billy Butler. They pick up this guy. Pretty good swap.
There's a lot of questions about Kendrys Morales and how effective he would be as a hitter at 32 years of age. You might remember Morales had that horrific ankle injury, celebrating a home run, jumping onto the plate after a home run back in 2010, and just blew out his ankle. It was a long recovery for him. There were a lot of folks thought he was headed for superstardom.
Well, he's back, swinging the bat well. Designated hitter fits him well.
Big spot, bases loaded, nobody out. And that one's on the ground, chance to turn it. Gomez to Jeanette, and a 6-4-3 double play.
Take that.
A run will score, but the Brewers gladly take the 2 outs. Gordon is in, making the score 6-2 Kansas City.
That's a trade you'll take any day. 2 outs for a run on the board. So now it's a 6-2 lead, but you get the 2 outs with the top of the order coming up.
No RBI for Morales. It is an earned run. And here is Escobar. Swinging at the first pitch. He dumps one into center field, an RBI single. 7-2.
Guys aren't messing around. I mean, they're swinging the bats on the first pitch. Nothing really hit all that hard in this inning. A lot of jam shots falling in, but that's what happens when you leave pitches up in the zone. You're able to dump them over the infield. You get those pitches down, they're ground balls.
Moustakas.
Hardest hit ball in the inning was Morales, a double play ball.
That's true. Inning started with 3 straight hits.
Yeah, the one Gordon hit was hit pretty well to right, but the other 3 have not been hit all that well.
Kotz has surrendered 2 on 4 hits. 7-2 Royals. Keeping the pressure on. A 3-run first. They scored 2 in the 5th. They've got 2 in the 6th. And Moustakas walks again, his third walk. On base for the 4th time. He's got a single and an RBI, 3 walks. He scored twice. And this inning continues. Lorenzo Cain coming up. Well, Lorenzo Cain had a game-changing moment last time he was up, batting in the 5th. In a 3-0 game, Cain with a 2-run homer, no doubter, into the restaurant. Home run number 5 for Cain. The Royals have added 2 more to it. Chased one. He was ready to send another one out there to Fridays. Now in his 5th year with the Royals. He was part of that Zach Greinke deal, one of the 4 that the Brewers traded to Kansas City. Those Royal scouts did their homework. They tabbed some terrific talent. I remember at the time when that deal was made, between the 2010-2011 season, I think the Royals thought Jeremy Jeffress was going to be the wild card in that one. They thought he was going to be the one that might emerge. There's a swing and a miss. A wild pitch will allow both runners to advance. Jeffress was traded from Kansas City to Toronto. That's when he changed his arm angle, kind of got his life turned around.
And he's been terrific. You know, as good of players as the Royals finally were able to get. I mean, after they had their growing pains, I don't think the Brewers would hesitate to make that deal again.
I had to. Won a division. Got a couple of former Royals right there, Will Smith and Jeremy Jeffress. Different trades. Smith winning the Aoki deal prior to last season. That ball's hammered to left. Peterson back, and he's got it for the out. A leaping catch at the warning track. Lorenzo Cain hit it sharply, but he's out. The inning is over. 2 scored. It's 7-2 Kansas City. Scoreboard. We are headed to the bottom of the 6th. Miller Park, Milwaukee. And the new pitcher is Franklin Morales. Another guy the Royals took a chance on, a non-roster invitee, former Rocky. And he's pitched well this year when he's gotten the chance. He gets the 6th inning here tonight.
Yeah, success contagious in that bullpen down there for Kansas City. Been pretty good
So far this year, look at the record: 3-0, 26th appearance, and a 281 earned run average for Morales. He's only given up the 1 home run, opponent batting average a paltry 198. And Morales a fastball cutter and a curveball.
Aramis Ramirez to lead off for the Brewers. Brewers had cut it to within 3, and then the Royals get it right back with a 2-run 6th. Lucroy drove in 2 runs last inning. '29-year-old Franklin Morales. Well, on the Powerball home run count for the Brewers as a team, 58 home runs this year. If you're keeping score, our friends at Powerball are. Ramirez comes in with 7 of those. 0 for 2 tonight. In the left, down the line. Gordon on the run. He's got it. Just inside fair territory on the track.
Just didn't get all of it down, a little bit on a trademark, and off the bat it sounded like it was going to be out, but just didn't have much carry on it right down that left field line.
Scooter Gennett. I like his walk-up music. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Don't worry. Be happy.
Be happy, yeah.
And he lines one to center field. That's down, a base hit. That bounced. And Gennett is aboard with a single. Good effort by Kane.
Yeah, good effort to keep it in front of him. I mean, you dive there, and no telling how far Gennett's going to be able to run. But he's able to smother it, keep it in the glove, and hold Gennett to a single.
That'll bring up Shane Peterson now, who is 0 for 2. It's a good sign for Gennett. A base hit against a left-handed pitcher. If he's going to be an everyday player, he's got to prove he can hit lefties. Did it through the minor leagues, but there's a different brand of left-hander in the big leagues than what you'd face in the minor leagues.
Yeah, if you're a good left-handed pitcher, you're not in the minor leagues very long. They rise through the ranks quickly, especially those lefties that are very good at getting left-handed hitters out.
His first hit of the year against the lefty, Gennett. He's 1 for 13. But he doesn't worry about it. He's just going to be happy, which is a good way to think about it. There's a lot to worry about in this game if you're a player. There's a lot of glory, but there's a lot of pressure. Pressure to get here, pressure to stay here.
And most of it's put on yourself. You do it yourself. It's the hitters and the players that can handle that and kind of forget about, have a short memory. Those are the guys that are successful. Can't dwell on things that happened in the past, either good or bad. Forget about it. You hit a home run, forget about it. Doesn't affect your next at bat. Same way if you strike out, they'll learn from it.
Well, the old saying, you're never as good as you think you are, you're never as bad as you think you are. As Peterson draws the walk. It's the third saying that's the one when you know it's time to go, when they say, yeah, you know what, you're exactly as bad as we all thought you were.
And it accompanies a pink slip.
That's right.
And a bus ticket. These days it's an airline ticket.
A career change. Quick little chat there with the infielders. Trying to get Morales dialed in a little bit. 2 on with 1 out. Hector Gomez coming up. Hector was hit by a pitch his last time up, ended up scoring. Tell you, Morales still has the zip on his fastball.
93 right on the outside corner. That first pitch to Hector right there.
He's got some postseason experience with the Rockies and the Red Sox.
And herky-jerky short arm motion, and comes at you with a high leg kick, hides the ball well, and he's able to get that curveball over. He can be tough.
Ball and 2 strikes. Had a big cut. Did Gomez.
That's that cutter right there. 88. Not a lot of movement. Very late. Keeps it off the barrel of the bat.
One-two pitch, and it's way outside. Missing badly to even the count. 2-2. Morales and Hector Gomez did not cross paths in Colorado. Colorado is the only other spot that Hector was when he made it to the big leagues. Just a couple of games back in 11. Brewers had him in the big leagues last year for a handful of games, but he's never played in as many games in the major leagues in his career until this season. So you could say he's got a career high in homers and RBIs. 1 and 7.
His versatility is the reason that he's here in the big leagues. Can play him anywhere. Actually threw him in the outfield this year.
Down he goes. Big swing and a miss. A strikeout for Morales, the second out of the inning. And it's going to be Jason Rogers coming off the bench to hit. Neil Kotz is done. Gives up a couple of earned runs in an inning.
It was that Pittsburgh, right? That Perez was, or I should say Gomez was in the outfield.
That's right.
Put him out there in left.
Yeah, had to play him in left field. Not a spot he's comfortable, but happy to do it. Well, Counsell is going to use his best pinch hitter early tonight. He's in need of a moment here. You might not have a chance to use him again if you don't use him now. 7-2. The Brewers down 5, but 2 men on with 2 outs. A swing away from making this a game again. Rogers last homered in Pittsburgh.
Hey, hit that on Liriano.
I was thinking about Rogers today, watching batting practice, and he's hitting in the final group of BP. Those who don't start typically hit in that group, and joining that group was Trent Clark, the Brewers' first-round draft pick, who we interviewed earlier tonight. And a little bit of irony there, and I'm sure Rogers carries it as a bit of a badge. He was a 32nd rounder, Jason Rogers. Here he is in the big leagues, excelling in the big leagues, and looking at this 18-year-old kid who signed for over $2.5 million. And I'm sure there's a little bit of satisfaction knowing that he made it without being a top rounder. You got to understand, when you enter into the minor leagues and you're not a high pick or a high round pick, there's not a lot of money invested in you. As they say, the wolf is at the door. They are ready to find a way to release you.
Always looking for an excuse to get rid of you, right?
Ground ball to short. Escobar will take care of Rogers, and that will end the inning. Morales puts up a 0.
Park. And on Tuesday, July 14th, the ballpark transforms from ballpark to soccer pitch as two world-renowned clubs face off in an international friendly, BA.
Okay.
That's an exhibition game, I guess, featuring popular Mexican team Club Atlas of Liga MX and Newcastle United of the English Premier League. For tickets, visit brewers.com/soccer.
That's going to be great. They're going to have a big crowd for that.
Yeah.
During the All-Star break. There's Michael Blazek, next man out for the Brewers. We are in the 7th. And it's 7-2 Kansas City.
Blazek has been terrific all season long since breaking with the team out of spring training. 27th appearance for Blazek. And a 108 earned run average. Has not allowed a home run. He's been terrific. The fastball, the breaking ball, all throwing him for strikes. Blazek last pitched on Saturday against the Nationals and tossed a scoreless inning. He has gone scoreless in each of his last 9 appearances.
He's been a bright star in that bullpen. Blazek will face Eric Hosmer to start it. Salvador Perez and Alex Gordon to follow. Middle of the order. Royals with 7 runs on 9 hits. Lorenzo Cain with a 2-run homer. Hosmer drove in a run in the first inning. Going to be seeing a lot of the Royals the next 4 nights. All night games. All 7:10 starts. 6:30 airtime Central. Tomorrow it'll be Garza against Chris Young, and then we're headed to Kansas City for 2 there. Mike Fiers and Jimmy Nelson will pitch those 2 games, and then it is off to Colorado. So poor Taylor Youngman, he finally gets a promotion from Colorado Springs to Miller Park, and then his 3rd big league starts in Colorado. I mean, it's a big league start, though.
Poor Taylor Youngman.
Just saying, the altitude factor. He's happy to have it.
Yes, he is.
I see what you mean. I mean, he could have pitched in Kansas City, is my point. You're not buying that argument.
I'm still trying to figure out poor Taylor Youngman. Well, you said it's tougher to pitch in Colorado Springs than it is in Denver, right?
That's what they're telling me.
Yeah, so I guess he's happy to be in Denver.
Guess that's be a little bit of an easier place for him to pitch.
Although when he pitched in Pittsburgh in that major league debut, he threw a curveball and was amazed at how it broke. They break pretty well in Pittsburgh, not so much in Colorado Springs.
Swing and a miss. Hosmer chased a fastball from Blazek. A strikeout for Blazek. 1 gone in the 7th.
They're just on the attack all the time. Got some help right there from Hosmer. These guys don't strike out too much. These Kansas City Royals. That's only the 2nd or 3rd, I should say. First by a position player.
Now Volquez had the other 2.
They don't walk typically, and they don't strike out.
Swung on, first pitch. Perez lines one to right.
But they do a lot of that.
His 2nd hit of the day.
Royals with the 3rd best batting average in the American League, but have a difficult time scoring runs. 10th in the league. Not having much problem tonight. 7 runs on the board.
On 10 hits. Alex Gordon with 1 away. Gordon was part of that very talented 2005 draft. He was drafted ahead of Ryan Braun that year. He was actually the 2nd pick in that 05 draft. right behind Justin Upton, who was a shortstop at the time. Gordon was a third baseman, as was Braun. On the ground to Lind. He's got it on a big hop. Out at second, out at first. Double play. And that will end the inning. Nicely done. 3-6-3 it goes. To the bottom of the seventh. It is stretch time at Miller Park. Got 3 in the first. Lorenzo Cain with a 2-run homer in the 5th. They added 2 in the 6th inning. There is Ryan Madson, former Phillies closer briefly. And he's working out of the bullpen now. Typically works in the 6th inning, but he's got the 7th inning tonight. And he's another guy in that Royals pen that has pitched very well.
Yeah, just about every one of them. More strikeouts than innings pitched for the former closer. You know, for Philadelphia, as you mentioned, 26th appearance, last pitch against the Cardinals on the 12th. Back in 2011, Madson had 32 saves for the Phillies. He's only allowed to 3 home runs.
He was one of the great setup men for Brad Lidge back at the time. Never quite grabbed that closer's role. And comfortable in his surroundings here in Kansas City. Gives you an idea how deep this bullpen is. They got a few guys that could be pitching either as setup or closers with other teams. And it's tough to even break into the 7th, 8th, or 9th in close games with the lead.
Right. And Madson, two-seam fastball, pretty good changeup for Ryan Madson. He gets it into the low to mid 90s. He'll cut it. He's got a good changeup.
Parra leading the way for the Brewers, and he lashes one foul. Now the Royals stuck to their plan. You got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, they certainly took their lumps. They had a lot of years where they were bringing up the rear in the American League Central. Had a new regime that came over from the, as Parra strikes out, came over from the Atlanta Braves. Dayton Moore and his team, and they stuck with it. That's the connection with Ned Yost. Ned Yost was the bullpen coach with the Braves and a protege of Bobby Cox. So there's a Braves connection with the Royals front office. Dayton Moore, who was under John Schuerholz in Atlanta, and John Schuerholz, of course, was in Kansas City before he ended up in Atlanta. And they tried to build it like the Braves from within, and I think it Took a little longer than they'd hoped. I remember the one year, it was what, 2012, that they had declared the young Royals have arrived. I think that's even what the billboard said.
Yeah.
The Royals have arrived.
A couple years too early. But they got it.
Yep. And now they have.
Better late than never.
They have a terrific team. Lucroy not happy with that call. He is barking at Laz Diaz. Put him in a hole 0-2. Lucroy doesn't argue much with umpires.
No, he doesn't. A little frustration involved there. It looked like a pretty good pitch. I mean, Fox Tracks had it right at the bottom of the zone.
Another 0-2. Popped him up. Shallow left in his Gordon. And 2 gone here in this Brewers 7th inning. Brian Matson retiring his first 2 hitters. He's got Braun coming up. Braun's been on twice tonight. He singled in the first, had a walk in the 5th.
Remember back in 2012, Ryan Madsen signed a free agent contract with Cincinnati. Blew out his arm and never pitched.
Injured it before the season started.
Yeah.
They were counting on him to be their closer that year. I remember that. And Braun now barking a little at Laz Diaz.
Laz barking back.
He will do that. No doubt. Oh, and 2 to Braun. We got a little barbecue in our future in Kansas City, I'm feeling. Some of those burnt ends.
You gonna go?
Oh, twice.
Got a car?
We'll find one. We will find transportation.
How about the chicken place?
Stroud's, one of my favorites. Yes, we're in. Yeah, if you're going to travel down to Kansas City and watch the Brewers play, we'll meet you at Stroud's.
Feeling generous. You gonna buy?
No. We'll just meet you there.
How about for me?
I might consider it. You had a tough day today. I know it. Things didn't start well for you, and pick up a meal for you. Cheer you up.
I hope I'm in a better mood by then.
Well, it all depends.
Can't have a great day every day, can you?
Not every day.
I mean, come to the ballpark. It's pretty close, but maybe it's the weather. You think? All the rain.
I'm loving the weather.
You like the rain?
Yeah. Out on my fishing boat today, and it was raining a little bit. It was great.
I was told it was a paddle boat.
Not a paddle boat. Slightly bigger than a canoe. Had a nice little 15-horse motor on it. We were flying down the lake.
Yeah. Outboard. That's all right. That counts. That counts.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we hit top speed about 12 miles an hour, I think. We also did some paddle boarding. You ever done that? You're
No,
a big fella.
I have not.
Takes a big paddle board. It's a good workout. Chopper to short. Escobar got a nice easy hop, and that is a 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Madson. 8th inning coming, 7-2 Royals. Kansas City in control tonight. Tomorrow in our Miller Lite What's on Tap, Chris Young will start for the Royals. He was supposed to start yesterday in St. Louis. That game got postponed due to rain, so he is on the mound tomorrow. Matt Garza will go for the Brewers. Ned Yost was asked, why do you bump Young back a day and not have him pitch today? He goes, well, he's a Princeton guy. He likes to pour through the scouting reports and do his homework on a team. So he'll get a day of homework and a day of experience to watch the Brewers today, and he'll be on the mound tomorrow. He's having a great year.
Yeah, and Garza pretty good his last time out Thursday against the Nats in a Brewers win, 6 innings, 1 run.
Alex Rios leading off for Kansas City. Michael Blazek back out there for his 2nd inning. Been some discussion about Blazek, at least in spring training, about making him a starter. As Rios skies to right, Braun is there for the out.
He's got the pitches to be a starter, and that's where he was. It's one of the reasons why he made the ball club, that he could give you multiple innings, 2-3 innings. Coming out of spring training, he was one of the long men along with Tyler Thornburg. But things have changed dramatically for Blazek. He's been given increased responsibilities, more important innings. Looking to give him 2 tonight. Just always on the attack. The sinker, the curveball. It's been very good.
He's given up just 4 earned runs all season. 34 plus innings for Blazek. Did he go? Yes, he did. Infante unable to check his swing. It's 1-2 now. Well, Blazek's been under the tutelage of Kyle Lohse. Lohse didn't have the year that anybody expected, but he is a great mentor and leader in that clubhouse, and Blazek soaking up a lot of knowledge from Lohse. It's going back even into the offseason this year. Good guy to hitch your wagon to. And both have the Cardinal ties as well. That's a fair ball. Going down into the corner, hits the retaining wall, and into second base is Omar Infante. And a long offer snapped. And he's got hits in his last 2 plate appearances. He's 2 out of 4 tonight.
See Blazek trying to throw that breaking pitch. Just left it up and right down the middle of the plate. And Infante able to slap it down the line out of the reach of Ramirez for a double. 11 hits now for Kansas City.
They are making it look easy tonight in all facets. So here is Gerard Dyson pinch hitting. Ryan Matson works a scoreless 7th inning. Dyson, the 4th outfielder with the Royals. Gets his fair share of playing time, though.
This guy can fly a little bit. Can run.
Excellent defender. The Brewers got down early tonight, and they have had a hard time connecting. Had their scoreless streak end at 20 with Lucroy's 2 RBI double. That came in the 5th inning. It's the only inning they've been able to score tonight. Broken bat shattered it. Here's Jeanette, and that will be the 2nd out. Dyson is retired. Infante does advance to 3rd, but 2 away. That's what Blazek can do, man. He lives up to his last name, right? He blazes through those bats.
That was a good breaking pitch. Dyson out in front, and that's the easy ground out to second base. Hey, talk about Blazek and the way he can, throw the fastball with movement, spot it, but it's his ability to throw the off-speed stuff for strikes. It's been the difference maker for him. Very aggressive, not messing around. This guy doesn't mess around in the corners too much.
Escobar takes a strike. The latest managerial casualty today, the San Diego Padres firing Bud Black.
It's not firing anymore, remember? Relieved him of his duties.
That's true.
Softer.
That's a good point. Dave Roberts is going to take over that club as interim manager.
A couple of former Angel coaches relieved of their duties this year.
Yeah, Renicky and Black.
Yeah.
I think Joe Madden's safe in Chicago.
Yeah.
He was the other. All 3 of those guys together with Socha for that World Series title in 2002. 1-2 pitch, and it's outside and high.
Yeah, Cubs in 3rd place in the Central. They're 7 games over 500. 1-2 in a row. Padres
made a big splash this offseason. A.J. Preller, their new general manager, and they made a ton of deals and bolstered their big league lineup. Had big ticket sales. As Escobar just lays the bat out there, and he'll drive in another one. That's what he does. It's not always pretty, but Escobar, when he gets in these kind of grooves, can really hurt the opposition. That's his 2nd hit of the night. He's got 2 RBIs.
One of the toughest guys in all of baseball to strike out. Coming into play, 1 every 10 at bats. That's what Kansas City does. I mean, they lay the bat on the ball. They give themselves a chance. We've seen a number of times when they've gotten base hits on baseballs that were not hit all that hard, but they put it in play. They didn't swing and miss.
8-2 now. Strike 2, Moustakas. Brewers have not retired Moustakas tonight. He singled in a run in the first inning. He's walked in his last 3 at-bats.
Escobar actually won every 9 at-bats for strikeout. Moustakas not far behind.
And it's easy to buy with Escobar because he's rarely in a count deep enough.
Right. He's swinging early, yeah.
Moustakas is a different story. He, if you add the hardest to fan number with the pitches per plate appearance, Moustakas is way up there. Jeanette's got this one that will end the inning, but the Royals add to it. They are dominating the Brewers tonight, 8-2.
Game, Kansas City out in front of Milwaukee interleague play here, the first of 4 straight, 2 here, 2 in Kansas City. Obviously the Royals, Davey, dominating at this point. Our one shining moment so far in this game, Jonathan Lucroy looking like vintage in the gap RBI man.
Well, that's Jonathan Lucroy. When he's at his best, he takes that ball middle away and drive it in the gap, and he drove it in the gap and drove in 2 runs.
Just runs number 6 and 7 driven in on the season for Jonathan Lucroy. He missed a bunch of games, no doubt about that. Brewers in a big hole right here. But we'll hear from Craig Counsell, get inside the clubhouse as well, and get you set for Game 2 tomorrow night, which is the finale of this homestand. Brewers trying to end it on a positive note. Brian?
All right, Craig and Davey, thank you. Looking forward to Brewers Live tonight. Jason Frazier is the next man up for Kansas City. Spent some time with the Blue Jays. And here he is with the Royals for his 2nd season. He's got Adam Lind, his former teammate with Toronto, leading off.
Yeah, Blue Jays, White Sox, back to Toronto, and Texas Rangers a couple of years, and 2nd year with Kansas City. Tremendous numbers for Frazier. Part of the bullpen you have a difficult time scoring on.
He's another guy that works in essentially middle relief. He's pitching in the 8th inning here tonight. But the Royals have a big lead. But they've got a group of guys, Morales and Madsen and Frazier, that are basically the 6th inning pitchers, 5th, 6th inning, depending on how the starter does. And yet he's a guy that has closing experience in the big leagues. Has 36 career major league saves, all of them coming with Toronto. Traded from the Rangers to the Royals last year.
He's got that split-fingered fastball. And it's a good one when he gets ahead in the count.
He's made a lot out of his career, Jason Frazier. Looked like it was going to be a quick exit from the big leagues, but he's hung in there. He's 37 this season. They called strike 3. Lind is down on K's. And I'll bring up a Ramos Ramirez. And that kind of night right there for the Brewers. Not much going right. Milwaukee had a little bit of a moment there with Lucroy, as Craig and Davey pointed out. 2 RBI double into right center. Came with 2 outs. It brought the Brewers within 3. But that's about it tonight. Royals jumped out quickly, and they've kept the gas pedal down.
And it's very difficult to come from behind against this group.
Saw where the Cubs were postponed tonight at Wrigley with the Indians. Anthony Rizzo was spotted at the Blackhawks game tonight.
Got a ticket pretty quickly, didn't he?
Telling you, little postponement, easy little trip over.
Got some connections
to the United Center. Blackhawks are close to securing the Stanley Cup if they haven't already. Yep, they just won. It's over, I'm being told. The Blackhawks are Stanley Cup champs.
Yep. That's why he's got that smile on his face.
That would be the 3rd cup in 6 years.
Eddie Cedar's happy, at least about that. He's a Hawks fan.
Big Hawks fan from Illinois.
But that's where the Chicago allegiances end.
That's right. 2-1. Ramirez fouls it back. Always enjoy the last game of the hockey season of the Stanley Cup Finals when the players finally come together, shake hands. There's a lot of respect with those guys.
Yep. They play hard.
With all of their beards.
Earn every inch. They do that after every playoff series.
2-2 to Ramirez. Down he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Frazier.
We do that in fantasy camp after every game.
Grow beards or shake hands?
Well, they can grow a beard, but they shake hands after every game.
A lot of gray beards going on in there. How is fantasy camp coming, by the way,
Coming
Rob?
nicely,
I'm
yeah.
glad you brought it up.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad it's brought up. It's a good time for it.
What's on the docket this year for fantasy camp?
I secured Gorman Thomas. He assured me he's coming this year.
Ooh.
Greg Vaughn, Augie, Gantner, Jeff Cirillo, Coop.
Those are all great names.
Pete Ladd.
Pete Ladd's coming.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Rob Deere, if he elects to show up.
That'll be a game time decision.
Day to day.
One day doesn't guarantee the next.
That's right. That's why they get paid at the end of the week. Good old rooster.
Well, there's a phrase that you use, there's a line that you use with Gorman that I think applies to, everybody who's running a business somewhere.
Would you like me to
yeah, what is that
drop
line?
it on you?
Because I can't remember to
Yeah.
do it for you.
I tell Gorman, I said, I don't expect you to do a lot, but don't keep other people from doing their job.
That's it. That's great. And he doesn't get insulted by that at all. He's like, absolutely, you got it, Rock.
Everybody has a job down there.
Right.
Gorman's not to throw batting practice
or do any coaching in any way.
He just guys like having him around. He gets on me every day, giving me the business.
He's been known to blow one of those air horns every now and then.
Right.
It's 1-2 to Jeanette. 2-2 the count.
January 31st, February 7th. Brewers fantasy camp.
Just when you need green grass and blue sky and sunshine.
You've got an open invitation, by the way.
I know. I'm still trying to recover from my last fantasy camp back in '09. Very painful. Just for me, though. Fly ball to left. Frazier works a 3-up, 3-down inning, and we are headed to the ninth. Presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now, Rock. It's not too far from here.
Yeah, I've been there.
8-2 is our score. To the ninth we go, mercifully. Brewers have been out hit 12-7. And it's going to be the former Royal, Will Smith, on the mound for the Brew Crew.
Yeah, 28th appearance, a 2-0 record, and a 166 earned run average for Will Smith. Very unusual for this Brewers bullpen to be giving up runs. They've given up 3 tonight. Kotz gave up a couple, and Michael Blazek gave up a run.
Only the 5th earned run Blazek has allowed all year. Blazek went 2 innings. And now Smith to try to finish it off. He will face Lorenzo Cain, who hit a 2-run home run in the 5th, a separator. Almost went deep in the 6th. Hit a line drive out in the 3rd. He has barreled it up 3 times tonight. Just 1 hit to show for it. What do you got on these bugs flying around Miller Park right now, Rock? Is that a temporary occurrence?
No, sometimes that happens. At least you're not mosquitoes.
That's a good point. Another hard hit ball, and it bounces off the mound and off of Jeanette, and Lorenzo Cain is aboard once again. Man, as he hit the ball hard tonight.
Yeah, 3 times he's hit it right on the nose. He lined out in the 6th, lined out the left, home run in the 5th. Just consistent contact made by these Kansas City hitters. That's what they're known for. Tough to strike out. They grind out at bats. They wear you down.
Here's Hosmer. Well, the Cardinals lead the Twins right now. They just took the lead. They lead at 3-2 in the 9th. If that score hangs on and this score hangs on, the Royals will add to their lead in the division. Kansas City started the day a 1.5 games up on Minnesota. Astros beat the Rockies Houston keeps winning. They went through a little bit of a tough slide, but they've won back-to-back games now, and they have a 2.5 game lead in their division in the American League West over the Rangers. Rangers won today, beating the Dodgers. Giovanni Gallardo got the win today. He's putting up some pretty good numbers for Texas. He's 6-6, but his ERA is at 3.16 in the hitter-friendly park.
Yeah, ball jumps there. Yes, it does. It's always hot there.
And it's not a dry heat.
No, it is really hot there. I caught a doubleheader there. You know, back in the 80s, not fun.
The Nationals, who were just here yesterday, they went to St. Petersburg to start their series. They lost tonight. 6-1 Rays. In the run of interleague games. The Mets ended the Blue Jays' long winning streak tonight. Toronto had won 11 in a row. Mets beat them 4-3 in 11. Hard hit ball. Wow, right at Jeanette. He bobbles it, goes to second, still getting out there, and safe at first. And that ball had some heat on it.
Goodness.
And I think Jeanette, I mean, if he comes up with it cleanly, it's an easy double play, but he's doing all he can to knock this one down.
I mean, that is a rocket. I mean, talk about getting one in the palm of the hand, and that's going to sting a little bit. He's still able to get the lead out. It was hit so hard. And they almost were able to turn a double play. Hosmer just barely beats it at first.
One away for Smith. For Perez. I saw where the Marlins beat the Yankees tonight 2-1 in this string of interleague games. Tanaka pitched well again, though, for New York, but he lost. Maybe the Marlins starting to come on a little bit. They need to. They are 10 games under 500. A lot of folks expected that team to be in the postseason this year. Phillies got shut out again. The Orioles shut them out 4-0. Philadelphia has dropped 7 in a row. Out to Braun and right. Perez is retired. 2 for 5 tonight for the Royals catcher.
Yeah, Brewers are going to be in Philadelphia at the end of the month.
Looking forward to that. Maybe a cheesesteak or 2 or 10.
Yeah.
Are you a Pat's guy or a Geno's guy?
Don't matter.
Just they're the same?
They're not the same.
It really does matter, doesn't it? What's the difference?
To some people it matters, but not to me. I don't venture that far. It's kind of far from the hotel. Anywhere you go to get one of those sandwiches in Philly, you're going to be fine.
Alex Gordon to left. And Peterson will make the catch, and we're headed to the bottom of the ninth. Brewers trail 8-2. Brewers Royals, first of 4 with Kansas City. The final 2 will be in Kansas City. Drew Butera comes in to catch this last inning. Get a little work behind the plate. And on the mound is the Royals closer, Greg Holland. Not a save situation. He's one of the best. And he needs some work, so he pitches tonight.
Yep, only 16th game for Holland, 11 for 12 in saves. And he had 9 walks and 15 in the 3rd innings. And 15 strikeouts.
Royals trying to move to 10 games over 500 with a win here today. And, you know, you talk to some of their folks that watch them every day. They don't feel like they're playing their best baseball by any stretch. I feel like there's a lot more in them. They dropped 2 in a row to the Cardinals. They were postponed yesterday after they had swept the Twins. The ups and downs of a major league season.
Well, you mentioned earlier they didn't start playing really good baseball till what, August? Maybe later than that.
As long as you're hot at the right time.
You just hang around, you know, you hang around, you see where you're at about mid-August, the end of August, and then you go on your run. That's what they did a year ago.
Peterson lines one off the glove of Escobar. And a base hit for Shane Peterson. His first of the night.
First hit for the Brewers since the 6th inning. That Scooter Gennett single to center field off the left-hander Morales. Just not able to get to it, but Peterson with his first base hit. He's been on a couple of times.
Here's Hector Gomez, who got the start at shortstop tonight. Gene Segura getting the night off. Oh, and 2 on Hector. Back at it tomorrow night. Royals Brewers, 6:30 airtime for Brewers Live. Matt Garza tomorrow. Chris Young for the Royals. He's got a 2.25 ERA this year. Does Chris Young. Been a great story. Royals were the only team that offered him a major league contract this offseason. He signed it. And what a hit that's been so far.
It made him look good, didn't he?
He hit hard. That is fair. Down the line. Into the corner it goes. Peterson to third. And Hector Gomez with a double. He's showing a little life here in the 9th inning. Down 8-2. The Brewers have 2 on.
And then bottom of the order getting it done. First Peterson, now Hector on a 2-strike pitch. Hooks that pitch. That's away from him. Right down the third baseline. And this is normally where closers struggle just to get in there and get some work. Don't have that same intensity. And Brewers putting a couple of men in scoring position.
Maldonado. Pinch hitting. Now, if you're the Brewers right now, one day leads to the next, and the first thing to check off the list is to try to force Ned Yost to make a pitching change in this inning. Just get one more guy on the mound. You never know. And Maldonado with a base hit. Coming in is Peterson. Right behind him, Gomez. And the 2 Brewer catchers tonight have delivered with 2 RBI hits. It is 8-4 Kansas City.
And Maldi doing a nice job staying right with it. And that number 9 spot in the batting order has been a pretty good one. And this time Maldonado able to drive one into the gap out there in the right field. And yeah, the Brewers now down by 4 with the top of the order coming up.
Nobody out. 3 consecutive hits off the Royals closer, and here is Gerardo Parra. Wade Davis.
There you go.
It's normally the 8th inning pitcher, but starting to mill around down there. Yeah, just try to get him thinking a little bit. That's what you're hoping for.
Yeah, get into that pen one more time. And you're right. I mean, just try and get as many guys in the game as you can, and maybe it'll help you tomorrow.
And that skips away. Maldonado goes to second base on the wild pitch. That actually rolled up into the stands. So a dead ball at that point. 1 base from the mound. A wild pitch, and Maldonado is in scoring position. Two and 1 to count on Gerardo Parra. Thought about it, able to check his swing, and it goes to 3 and 1. Well, Brewers are in the right part of the order.
You never know. Get a couple of men on and see what happens. Forget about tomorrow, right? Nice little comeback tonight.
Lost him. Ball 4. And that figures to get the Royals bullpen active. He doesn't want to do it, but Ned Yost.
Nothing else. Stalling for time. Maybe looking to get Davis a bit ready.
Best bullpen in the American League. Best ERA in both leagues, as a matter of fact.
By far.
And this is the guy who anchors that bullpen, and he is struggling right now. 2 runs are in. 3 hits to start the inning. Now a walk. First 4 batters have reached. Here comes Jonathan Lucroy with Braun to follow. If Lucroy reaches, Braun would be the tying run. Lucroy and Maldonado responsible for the 4 runs tonight. Lucroy drove in 2 with a double in the 5th. Maldonado just did it in a pinch hit roll. Had a big cut. 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
A little more intensity with those last 2 pitches out of Holland. Now that he's in trouble.
Closers hate pitching in non-save situations. Obviously, the Royals feel like he needs to get some work.
He's getting plenty tonight.
Yes, he is. The 18th pitch of the inning, and there has not been an out recorded yet. Lucroy lines one fair down the line. All the way to the wall it goes. Parra's around third. He'll hold there. A run is in. Lucroy with his 3rd RBI, and the Brew Crew will bring the tying run to the plate. It's 8-5.
And you got to figure that the night for Holland might be coming to an end. Still nobody out. This pitch right down the middle of the plate, and Lucroy able to pull it down the line. Ed Cedar not taking any chances. Down by 3 runs now with nobody out. And Lucroy able to drive in a couple of runs. He's had a good day. 3 RBIs tonight.
And Ned Yost will have to do what he didn't want to do, take his closer out. To the bullpen he goes. The Brewers down 3 with Braun coming up. The ninth, still nobody out. The first 5 batters of the inning have reached. Lucroy just drove in his 3rd run of the day. And Ned Yost has to go get his closer with Braun coming up. Holland, who came into the game just to get some work, is out. And Wade Davis, normally the setup man, he was on to pitch.
Yeah, big fastball for Wade Davis. 28th appearance, and look at the earned run average. I mean, paltry. .33, 30 strikeouts, 27 innings, has not allowed a home run since last season.
A save situation for Wade Davis, who has 7 this year. Perfect in those opportunities.
And last home run he allowed was back on September 4th of 2013.
Well, that means he's due to give one up.
Yeah, he's due, maybe a couple.
Greg Holland before tonight had gone 15 and the 3rd innings and only 3 earned runs. He gives up 3 earned runs tonight. Does not record an out.
And the heart of the Brewers order coming up.
Yeah, 2 of those runners still his responsibility. So here we go, a swing away from a tie game. Brewers were down 8-2 when this 9th inning began. Dead in the water until this inning started. Now there is life. Davis pitched Saturday against the Cardinals, win a scoreless inning. It had been 4 days between outings prior to that one, so he hasn't gotten a whole lot of work either. Second and third. The 1-0 pitch, and Braun takes it inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Wade Davis was an average starting pitcher with the Tampa Bay Rays. He's turned into an exceptional relief pitcher. Here's a 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, just can't find the plate. Being very careful to Ryan Braun. A walk here, and Adam Lynn represents the winning run. Things looking much different on the face of Ned Yost right now.
Braun, green light, 3-0. He rarely swings 3-0.
Yeah, he never does that. He's done it once this year. I think he got a base hit. That was a good time to do it, though. You figure he's going to get a good pitch to hit.
Davis came to the Royals with James Shields. And that trade prior to the 13 season, not much talk about Davis either at that time. He's turned out to be one of their best pieces. 3-1 to Braun, and he fouls that one away. 96 with the fastball. It's 3-2 now on Ryan. So from 3-0 to 3-2. Now Davis doesn't like the signs Butera's putting down.
And Ned Yost might be rethinking that decision to take out Perez. Things have changed dramatically since he's left the game.
Got the one he wants. Second and third, and nobody out. Here's the 3-2, and Braun, he goes. Couldn't hold it. 97-mile-an-hour fastball down, and Braun is out. That's a good comeback for Wade Davis. He was down 3-0 in that count.
You don't see Brawny swing out of the strike zone like that on a fastball. Upset with himself. Cut fastball and straight fastball. That last one at 97, the four-seamer.
All right, here's Adam Lind now. Tying run at the plate. Ramirez on deck. Lind doing all he can to get Ramirez a swing in this bottom of the ninth. Parra's at third, Lucroy at second. And a slow roller, foul. Well, they're hoping to be rewarded for hanging in there tonight.
And a lot of folks have left. They hope they're going to be sorry for it. Be a big ending to this one.
That's lined right to Escobar. Adam Lind like a bullet. And the second out of the inning. Man, what a bad break that was.
Yep, right at him. Positioned up the middle and just has to jump a little bit, but that ball was right at him, positioned perfectly.
Ouch. So Lind is out. Davis has come on. He's gotten Braun and Lind. And now Aramis Ramirez, the last hope, trying to keep the inning alive. Aramis Ramirez with 2 on. Brewers down 3. Got Scooter Gennett on deck. Ramirez is the 8th batter of the inning. 3 runs have scored. Oh, he took a swing at it.
Game is big fastball, 97 in her half.
No balls and a strike on Aramis. In the air, popped him up behind the shortstop. Coming in Gordon, and that's the game. That'll be a save for Wade Davis. The Royals win it 8-5. The Brewers put up a little bit of a fight in the ninth, scoring 3 runs. And although there were no home runs hit in tonight's game, the home run challenge lasts through Father's Day. You can make a pledge by visiting homerunchallenge.org. 8-5 Royals. Volquez beats Loesch. Davis his 8th save. And it's time for Brewers Live. We check in with Craig Cashon. Craig?
Boy, nice rally in the 9th inning, surprising a lot here for the Brewers. They come up short. We'll hear from Craig Counsell and get inside the Brewer clubhouse. Also, get you set for Game 2 coming up tomorrow. Stay with us for Brewers Live.